Is this $650 boat from Costco worth it? You're at Costco with your family. They have a boat for $650. Wouldn't it be cool to have a boat? So yeah, it's a boat for $650, but after you've used it once, this is how good it fits in the bag. This isn't mine. I borrowed this from Luke McFadden. He made a video about this very recently. I'll link that right up here, but I'm gonna try this out myself. I wanna see if it will work for the average person who doesn't have a truck or trailer and just wants a boat just to go out once in a while. So Luke and his buddies tried to wrap this up as good as they could when they were done with it. It's kind of heavy. Ooh. I haven't read any instructions. I'm literally just opening this up for the first time. Oh, here's some instructions. Cool. We don't need those. Here's the bench. It's a hollow piece of aluminum. Oh, good. I see stuff in here. My biggest concern with this is how you pump it up. Yes, you could buy another electric pump, but if you're trying to go boating on a tight budget and you're doing it for the first time, you're gonna probably try it with this. How long does it take to pump this up like this? Okay, so what's great is all of this latches in really well. In my mind, this is the worst part of an inflatable. The advantage of an inflatable is that you can deflate it and put it away. The disadvantage is you have to inflate it. And if you have to inflate it every single time you want to use it, that could stink. I'll do some time lapse here, okay? Okay, to be fair, I'm an out of shape old dude, and it took me 5 minutes and 30 seconds to get that one side almost completely filled up. What we're supposed to do is get it kind of full and then go back and top them off afterwards. I'm out of breath, need to take a break. I'm gonna do this side and check in with you again. Picking up my timer where I left off. Okay, the second side has its initial inflation. Total elapsed time spent inflating so far is 10 minutes and 18 seconds. Obviously I stopped after the first one and I'm stopping after the second one. I still have to get that all the way up to its full pressure, same with this one, and inflate the floor, but the floor shouldn't take long. Let me talk about a couple of the good things. The pump seems to be pretty good. I like how everything clicks in and fits nice and snug. It has a gauge built into the pump, and by each valve it says the total inflation that you're supposed to do for everything. So it's easy. I don't have to use any extra equipment to be able to try to make sure I got my pressure right. I don't have to look anything up. So I like that. That's very nice. This thing seems to be made quite well. It's relatively thick vinyl. Got these molded in handles that are not solid, but they're hard. Got this rope here tied into these, which is nice for holding on to if you're sitting on the sides. If you've ever ridden in an inflatable, anything that you can hold on to helps sometimes. So that's good. The transom is pretty janky. We'll look at that a little closer in a little bit. But for right now, let me catch my breath. I'm an old guy, and I'll inflate the floor and top everything up. There we go. Okay, so basically you're looking at about a half an hour to get this filled up, unless you use an electric pump. So it's the next morning, let this sit overnight. It's all inflated. It's holding air perfectly. Everything feels super tight. It's claimed to be rated for 5 persons or 827 pounds and a 15 horsepower motor, which is an 11.2 kilowatt motor. Back here, this is the rubber flap where your battery or your gas tank sits. This is probably to keep fuel from ruining the rubber, but as you see, the transom is completely open. It's open back here, down low, and it's open up high. So that can support a motor, but there's nothing going to keep your body from being able to get out there to where the propeller is, and there's nothing going to keep a wave or any water from washing up and into the back of this boat. So whatever's back here is going to get wet. The front of the boat, the same thing. It's not closed off here, it's flat. I think that's what makes this boat more suitable for being a fun raft in a pond or a small lake with your family than any kind of legit dinghy. I got the paddles put together, they just click together, and then I guess they just click in like this. As you see, there's a hole in the paddle right here. This knob comes off, that's your oar lock. And then the paddle threads onto there, and then you put this back on again, and this is on a string, that's nice. Here's this aluminum bench. It just slides onto here. This part here hooks onto that little rail right there, and that moves forward and back if you want it. Also, fully inflated, this thing isn't very heavy at all. I think I can load it in the bed of my truck by myself. So we've got the boat loaded into the back of the truck. Now we need all the other stuff. In this box is my boat safety equipment. Depending on where you're boating, you may need some of this sort of stuff. Every state and requirements are different depending on the size of the boat and whether it's got a motor or not. Let's bring the air pump with us, just in case we need to top it off. We'll throw the rest of the cover and stuff in here, just to keep it all together. This is my self-inflating PFD. If you have the means, these are pretty cool. Rather than those big bulky orange ones, these ones are auto-inflating if you get wet. They're a bit more money than a big orange one, but they're a lot more comfortable and easy to wear. You don't even notice you have it on. I'm gonna put a link to buy one of these inflatable PFDs in the video description, and also if you wanna buy it through YouTube, I'll put a link there. We're gonna run ours with the ePropulsion E-Lite motor. I'm thinking that ideally, if you're running a motor with this little boat, you would just run a trolling motor. So it's got a separate battery in the trolling motor. I don't like the idea of having the battery sit in that area where it can get wet. The ePropulsion E-Lite motor is all one unit, self-contained, with a battery. A little bit faster than a trolling motor too. More expensive. I have a link to buy one of these if you're interested in one of these. This is about $1,000, I think. And then we have our bench seat and our paddles. Can't forget our paddles. By the way, if you like this video, please be sure to give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being a subscriber. Now, back to the video. With one person on board, me, I weigh about 200 pounds, and this small self-contained electric outboard motor, the floor of the boat does stay completely dry. It is out of the water in a still creek, which is where I'm at right now. Obviously there's openings around the motor, but the floor of the boat is staying dry. The bow is up out of the water, and it is dry. So it can work for certain purposes. But I think for other people who want to be able to try to stay relatively dry when using this boat as a dinghy, I think the enclosed style is better. I think something to consider with this is the fact that, it came with paddles, but it has a transom bracket to be able to support an outboard motor. If you buy one of these and your only intention is to ever paddle it, I'm thinking you're better off with a much cheaper option, like this one here from Amazon, that is just designed to be paddled. I can say in my creek, I feel perfectly safe and fine in this. It's sturdy, it's stable, it tracks pretty well, it holds my motor just fine. I don't personally have a use for one of these. I have other boats. But yeah, I think this thing's pretty cool. I've spent a little bit of time running this around the creek. It feels well made. It feels stable. It feels good. Is it worth $650? I think that really comes down to what you intend to use it for and what you expect from it. For some people, $650 is a lot of money, and if they expect this to be a boat that they can use to go out and do a lot of different kinds of stuff, they might be disappointed. If you're looking at this to be a fun toy to have in the pond, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. If you want to be able to just slip a motor on there to be able to use it occasionally, it does that very well. But if you want to use this as a main dinghy for your boat, like for your sailboat or something like that, I don't know if this one's a really great option, just because of the fact of how open it is in the front and the back. Here's a few other ones that you may want to consider. So this is one of the challenges with an inflatable. If you're down by the water, like you're at the side of the campground and you're in a lake, you're in a pond, and you can inflate this right there by the water and then push it in the water, perfect. This is for you. But if you've got to go to a boat ramp or something, you don't want to be at the boat ramp inflating your boat. I showed how it takes a half an hour to do. It could take you longer depending on how hot it is and what other distractions you have going on around you. So you'd have to be there inflating your boat somewhere to be able to launch it. You're going to be exhausted and not feel good once you get it in the water, I think, especially on a hot day. So if you do like I did and you inflate it at home, well, then you got to transport this thing down there. My truck is a 5.5 foot bed, I think. So with the tailgate down, maybe 6.5 feet. So a bunch of this is sticking off the back. It's bulky. It's not heavy. I'm moving it around by myself, but it's really bulky and ridiculous to be able to try to transport this in my truck with it inflated. And that's where you need to be thinking about whether this makes sense for you as a boat. I think this is a great family raft. You take it to the pond, you row out there, you let the kids jump on and off the front. You can easily like climb up on the front of it from the water or climb on the sides because you got these ropes to hang on to. Kids can bounce around on it. I think it's a fun pond lake camping raft if you're okay with inflating it and carrying it around. Other than that, I think it kind of fails every other thing because it's not really a good dinghy and it's not really a good boat. Anyway, I'm Wayne the Boat Guy. Here's my next video if you'd like to check it out.